Okay, Case of Distrust. I haven't played this since last year because the Crimson Diamond came out, and then I didn't go back to this because I had to do like it hates my sound, like my audio driver, because it just bugs it out. And it also hates my I can't window it. I have to actually exit it, and if I window it, I get stuck in having to open it again with task, like use Control Shift Escape to open Task Manager, and then like go back to it and open it and then close it again because it just bugs out. It hates. It has to be played with the mouse too. Anyway, hopefully it remembers my stuff because I did a system restore since then. Okay. Or to find Green's killer, I had to prove that somebody had the means, the motivation, and the opportunity for murder. Anyone connected to the case was a possible suspect. Okay. Paul's home was extravagant. Every item adorning the apartment was of high quality, but there was evident lack of finesse to the combination, as though Paul had simply purchased expensive accoutrements without any thought of design. We were really close to finishing this too. We only have one trophy left, or one achievement. Like, go to the notes. Had to prove the means, opportunity, the motive. We've already found Green's pass. Yeah, it's unplayable with a trackpad too. That's another reason I haven't played it, because I have to actually set up, the table, or set up like in my room with using a box on my bed to play it with a mouse. But yeah. So at Paul's apartment, we found the gun, and I'm not sure I asked Paulie, little Paul, who's actually not that little. Connor Green. Careful, Nick. Got about an hour for his pill time. He's been stressing me out. He's been hucking himself off things. Because he's not a cat that cushions their fall. He just kind of throws himself. Yeah, I didn't ask him about the gun. I was kind of like worried about it because I didn't want to, mess up anything. But Tiny Paul was sprawled across the Chesterfield smelling rubbing alcohol, but now I just want to finish this. Figured a drunk Tiny Paul might be more honest. I thought it's a good time to grill him. Evidence. But yeah, basically last time we found a gun tried to be disposed at Stables racetrack. Found a .45 caliber gun in the trash bin. It was a type most gangsters used. Asked about Newt. I described the gun I found, how it matched type gangsters were known to carry. And I don't see a gun around here, I ended. His jaw stiffened. I keep my gun in the holster, and when I'm not at home, the holster stays on my person or in my jacket. So where is it now, Paul? What if I told you I lost it yesterday? How could you disprove that? I raised an eyebrow. A weak story, Paul. Weak or not, but I'm telling you. What are you going to do about it? I thought of accusing. Just asking questions. Just ask questions, I said to him. A detective has to cover all their leads. Paul took a heavy sigh, but in the drunken state he didn't do much more. Okay, did that get added to my statements? Paul's gun went missing. Tiny Paul conveniently lost his gun the previous day, or he could have hidden it himself to avoid questions. I still don't know. Pressed Paul further what he already told me, but got nothing useful from him. He let out a blustered sigh. Will there be anything else? He asked sardonically. Detective. Okay, that's not what I thought would happen. I thought it would be, more forthcoming. Oh my. I'll look up a walkthrough. I just want to get this done. Okay, what did I ask him about anyway? That's another thing. statements. I don't remember. That's the thing. I should have watched my stream. Most 10. I don't remember what I asked him. Guy pressed on the gun. Patrons might carry, but Paul was typed that when it came to his clientele. Okay, we have the wilting plant. You know, that it was the same kind that he had at his apartment. That was bought for, you know, wilting plant was on the furthest table from the door. I could never keep plants alive either. As the petals fell, they were still vibrant yellow. There might be flowers I'd seen before, but I couldn't place them at the moment. Started asking more about Mrs. Green. Look, I already told you about it. Now drop it. Hope burst helped me understand I hit an important nerve. Okay, statements or evidence. Did I ask him about Green, like, you know, like when he died, you know, where he was found, stuff like that. Green was killed at midnight, I told him. Do you remember anything from then? So I told you, I was playing cards upstairs until early morning. I think I did, like, pretty much everything, except for asking about the gun. Could always recur to ask him questions. Led back the carpet hallway. Could ride over there to talk with him. Waved down a taxi cab on my way. Thought I might talk with the driver to pass the time. Started talking with the driver, who began speaking with his recent European vacation. Went to Normandy on a steamliner. Talk about the trip. Yeah, fuck yes. Oh, the Olympic was grand. Excellent machine. Crossed the Atlantic in 5 days. Plenty of amenities, and their new tourist cabins, too. Asked about the ship. Well, working folks can get on them now. Pretty affordable. Only a few weeks off work. And back here, your stomach might take a beating if you aren't used to it, but I love that sea smell. Still had a grin on his face as we pulled to my destination. But Foreign racetrack was reopened the previous year. Helped a millionaire Adolph Speckles and some associates, one of whom was stable. Today, no races were ongoing. The sheer size of empty grounds, the grandstands were impressive. Still gave the majesty of the grounds, but turned back entrance to search for more information. Gibble was still milling about Tan Foran's entrance. I could pump him for more information. Still smiled at me as I approached him, but I didn't think he was all that happy to see me. Ask about notes. Yeah, that's what we got. We got new. According to Tiny Paul, Ritstone Stable hadn't slept from when they met at 9 p.m. last night to their next meeting at 5 a.m. this morning. Oh, that blinked. That was evidence. Tiny Paul tells me that you two met last night. I pulled a stable, and then you met him again early this morning. He says you look ragged. Not much sleep then? Very well, Stable sighed. I do admit that I spent yesterday searching for information on this case. That perhaps the search bled into this morning. In my situation, would you not ought to look for clues against Green, a man who accused you of blackmail? I must have beamed at him, armed now with the knowledge that Stable had no alibi the previous night. However, he continued, in my search to clear my name, I did find a fact that might interest you, a fact that I had kept to myself, but if Paul wishes to lay claims at my feet, might as well tell you. Looked at him quizzically. The Tin Spoon has a back exit. Okay, more information. Patrons likely have no suspicion of it, but I am certain many of the staff know. They could enter and leave without anyone noticing. And how do you know this? I asked. Never mind how I came about the information. Just be thankful that I am giving it to you. If you do not believe me, I encourage you to ask others about it. There was a particular development. I noted it and continued my questioning. I think we got all we can get from him. Turn back to entrance and search for more information. How do I leave? Okay, wooden slats board the window of the old betting house. Walker Otis measured of 1909 prohibited gambling of horses, which meant most of the racetracks shuttered, splitting the trend at fore end, but Stable and 2 other investors reopened the track the previous year claimed to operate without taking bets. I snuck first in the racetrack by jumping the locked turnstile, which had been easy enough. I could leave the same way. Okay, we're going to go back to the Tin Spoon Lounge and talk to Ella. My money was on Ella Smith, would still be upstairs. I could ask her more questions if I felt that would lead anywhere. I'll ask her about the back exit. Because she's really just, you know... Yeah, the Olympic, you know... Oh, was it? Oh, this bugs me. Either the, you know, like, I'm just searching it up. Because I know it was either the... Yeah, the Gigantic. Okay. Yeah, the Olympic and the Titanic were sister ships. In Zero Escape, the ship that you're supposedly set on for the Nonary games is the Gigantic, secret ship that they made. Also like it, but that they ended up using for a hospital ship during the wars. So yeah. That's what I was remembering when I heard the Olympic. I was like, that's a Titanic sister ship, but is it the real one or is it the fake one from the game? Oh my. Anyway, I began speaking with the driver and our conversation came to airships. You hear about the Zeppelin fella? He asked. The crazy German thinks he can run transatlantic flights. Allies won't let him build any dirigibles now, but I say give the man a shot. We spoke of the 5th transatlantic flights, and how he saw airships as a travel of the future. My head was in the clouds when I stepped out of the taxicab to my destination. Brought my thoughts back to San Francisco and continued on the case. Yeah, it's been delisted now, but Cryonic XIX involves a lot of airships having replaced travel. Like it's like a, you know, our time, but the future is if Nikola Tesla had, you know, been more well respected and whatnot. And you play helping a time agent. I haven't played the second one. Now that it's been delisted and everything, it's kind of like, oh, gotta play it, you know, a cracked version. The developer recommends that version. Because otherwise it tries to connect to Google Play for, like, you know, advertisements and stuff. But it can't, because it's been delisted. But yeah, I'm in on that server too. It's pretty much dead. Developer came back for like a few weeks and started bragging about AI and then disappeared again, so I don't know. I don't trust him not to, like, disconnect the server. Like, delete it. because the company went down. We are Chroneric. I arrived again at the old warehouse, turned speaky, its wooden sign still barely holding on to the frame of the building. I walked upstairs and opened a thin wooden door to the billiards room. It was much smaller than I expected for a gangster's paradise. The only light came from the hanging lamps above the billiards room and the haze of cigarette smoke from the darkened room's corners. Ella Smith was still fidgeting with the playing cards. Asked about notes. We are going to ask about stable, Redstone stable. Tinstoon has a back entrance. I have a source that says there's a back entrance at the Tin Spoon. What do you know about this? Ella Smith nodded. Yes, we do have one. It's behind the women's changing rooms. I can't imagine any of the men know about it. Why would they would never be able to go back there without causing a riot. But the girls use it whenever we need to slip away from the customers who are, she paused, too eager. So the back exit to the Tin Spoon, only the women know about. That's right, she said. Okay. Can I ask her about the gun? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna ask her about the gun. Maybe. Still a bit weird with the mouse, even using the mouse. Racetrack. Tanafon racetrack. Yeah, Staples racetrack. Okay, here we go. Found a 45 caliber gun. Oh, I heard something in my notes, but got nothing meaningful from the conversation. Okay. Turn back to the room. We know she's Chinese. Bucko would know too, the guy who gambled. Let's see if he knows about it. I gave my dress and slouched in the back seat of the cat's cab. I thought I had a good way to pass the journey. Might be to chat with the driver. Yeah, someone I was watching play this, kept skipping these because she had one of the weird ones from the start. The driver turned to ask where I want to go. I saw his striking blue eyes, looking years younger than the graying temples beneath his wool cap. I was curious about his history. I struck a conversation with Ledge to his past life. Ever hear of the Suicide Club? He asked. I admitted I had. Bob the Goat coined that phrase. Poor guy ate a runaway for his last meal. War pilots asked. Half right. We was mail carriers. Uncle Sam was training us for the military. Shame if you made it. That's about the deaths. That's about the deaths. Rumor said the average pilot lasted 900 hours, likely not far off. Flying with no lights, no emergency landing, barely a weather report, never a parachute. What do you expect? Glad they're driving taxi cab now, I asked. Pulled destination. My wife is, but I miss flying every day. He turned his cap and saw the sparkle in his eyes. Thanked him for the ride and left the car. Harbor shop's down the alley in the financial district opposite the red brick National Bank. Bell above the door twinkled as I walked in. A buckface. Ray still seated in the chair. Stable had yet to return. Now he's just being out smarmy in the middle of a abandoned racetrack. I asked about notes. He smiled at me. Wasn't sure why he's so happy to see me or just happy to talk to somebody. You know he's a friend of Stable if he's getting a haircut. Asked about note. I have source that tells me there's a back exit to the Tin Spoon, I said. Know anything about it? Back exit? No, I'm afraid I've never heard of such a thing. So he doesn't know. Did it come up in my statements? It's kind of weird playing a game where everything gets added to my, Okay, yeah, no, nothing. So we know that anyone that used the back exit would either be a woman that worked there or Tiny Paul himself. Having some coffee drink. Some latte, Starbucks latte drinks. Oh, I'll show him the gun. Since we're showing everyone the fucking gun, we'll just show him the gun. Here, see, this is a gun we found at Staples Racetrack. 45 caliber gun in a trash bin. Showed him something in my book, but he gave me nothing of a note for a resulting conversation. Okay. I knew I'd always come back later for more questions. I like how it lets you come back. Front door had a bell on top of it. Okay, I'm going to talk to Tawny Paul. The Kites Penos. If I had a question for him, I'd go there. I'm going to ask him about the back entrance. Then we can confirm. Thought about chatting the driver to pass the time. Yeah. Julia raided someone that was playing it, and she just like got like one of the weird ass ones first, like the creepy ones. Went to the Palace of Fine Arts driver today when I asked about his weekend. They were holding a guest gallery. My girl is a big George O'Keeffe fan. Myself, I don't get all the new stuff. What's so hard about painting some wavy lines? You don't see the, you know, sexual aspect of George O'Keeffe's work, buddy. And you got a wife. For the rest of the trip, we spoke about the other artwork that was on display. Pieces from Charles Schuyler, Louis Luzowick, Edward Steichen, and many more. I was sad to have missed it, but then we stopped at my destination. I left my envy in the taxi cab and refocused on the case in hand. Yeah, I wish I knew who those were. I should know. I got an A in art history, 2 semesters. Paul's building was still new, built only a few years earlier, but was already a beacon of Pacific Heights. Tall and round, proud above its surroundings, its crisp vanilla interior was accent with gold, and its elevators run by equally immaculate operator. Wrote to the top floor bungalow that belonged to Tawny Paul. I just keep thinking of Paul from Desert Bus when I think of Paul, Tawny Paul. Problem is, like, a lot of them have left Twitter and stuff, and I refuse to use Blue Sky, so I have no idea, because some of them went to Mastodon. I like Mastodon, but I don't know where they are. Okay, Mr. Paul. Chesterfield smelling or rubbing alcohol. Asked about notes. Let's ask you about the fucking back entrance that we know about. Accessible 5. Tinspoon has a hidden back exit accessible to female performers wanting to avoid their avid fans. Ellis Smith tells me there's a back entrance. Oh, he's smiling now. Look at him. He's like one of those, you know, memes. Ellis Smith tells me that there's back exit to the tin spoon. I put to him. Anyone could get out of the women's changing room without being seen by the doorman. Are you saying I did that? He laughed. Sure, there's a cellar door we keep shut. Had no idea the girls were using it, but even if I wanted to get out that way, could never get back there without the crowd haggling me. Even I can't just walk through the girls' changing room without causing a fuss. So he claimed he didn't use the door. Okay, bucko. So, Ellis Smith said that she was Tawny Paul's lover. I don't think she was. And I asked again about Ellis Smith. Paul groaned, but said nothing more. Okay, I already asked him about it. I wasn't sure. I'm going to ask him about his fucking empty holster now that I asked him about the gun. Hat hung from the rack nailed to the back wall, as did an empty gun holster. Paul's response was that he simply was to simply look at me with glossed eyes. Okay. I think I'm missing something. Where's Tawny Paul? Oh, here. Okay. Tawny Paul claims that his holster was always in his jacket or on his person. Only he or somebody close to him could have I don't remember getting that. Pressed Paul further on what he already told me, but I got nothing useful from it. He let it bust a sigh. Well, be anything else, he added sardonically. Detective. Now, leave it to your drunkenness. It's not to leave him be. I could always try further questions. I don't know why he's drinking rubbing alcohol when, he is, running a legal speakeasy. Okay. Back to the carpeted hallway. Okay. We think we got everything now. At least we can ask her about Maria's waiting at home for information about her husband's death. I could talk to her or search the place for clues. About the back exit. Held driver and gave him the address to step through the back door. I debated talking with the driver. Driver started talking about the latest films. Have you seen the Ten Commandments, he asked? He asked excitedly. Yeah, it's on 2 VHS tapes. There's the sea, okay, where Moses parts the sea, and the Israelites walk through the part. I mean, they walk across completely, you hear. I don't mean in the story, but in the film itself. A group of actors between mountains of water. It looks real. I melted in my seat. How do they do it? And has these colors, right? He continued. They're so vivid. The whole scene is blue when it's dark or orange when it's hopeful. I haven't seen anything like it. But it's strange. Less than half the film is about Moses. I mean, you could call it a thing, the Ten Commandments. You expect it to be the old story, and that is, but then there's a long stretch about these brothers, John and Danny, and this John guy's greedy and Danny's nice, and of course, in the end, John gets what's coming to him. Weird way to tell the story, though. Anyhow, in it, we're here, but you should really see this flick, considering how much he just told me about it. I felt I didn't need to anymore. Seems like, he got movies mixed up. Green's apartment section of Old Western Addition Mansion. The owners had divided for struggling families to rent after the 1906 fire. Once downtown had been rebuilt, people of means moved out of the area. Recent immigrants, mainly from Japan, rented most of the apartments in this part of town. I rapped my knuckles on the door, and Mrs. Green showed me inside. I don't think she showed you anyone inside. She's fucking drunk as a skunk. Oh, she's awake now. Miss Green was seated in her chair, considerably more awake than the previous day. I know she was high on laudanum. Miss Malone, have you found anything about my husband's killer? She asked. In her chair, I mumbled a greeting and sat down beside her. I asked her about the fucking... Oh, man. Where's Ella? There's a back door that only the female performers can use. Is that right, Mrs. Green? Oh, you mean the door that leads to the old cellar? But out the alleyway, yeah, she agreed. You're right. Perhaps someone could have slipped away without the doorman seeing them, but I assure you, I was in the room the entire night. Oh, I'm sure we have... I know... We're not doing it right now. Not moving to the further questions. Asked her about notes. I'm pretty sure she has no alibi, but I can't remember sure. Who... Evidence? Is it evidence? No. I was sure I had a thing that said that she had no alibi. Is it in Ella's? I was sure I had one that said Mrs. Smith has no alibi. Anyway, we'll talk to her about Alice Smith. Yeah, Fanny wasn't in the pool hall. That's what we... One of your backing singers claims you left the upstairs room before midnight, I said in my notes. That's not true, she said defiantly. I was there the entire evening. She seems quite sure, Mrs. Green. She sang the drunken boys without you there. Oh yes, she said. There we go. I think you're right. I stepped out at some point during the night. Mrs. Green admitted sometimes a girl needs fresh air, but I could not have been gone long. It was in the billiards room most of the night. So Mrs. Green had no alibi at the time of Connor's death. I noted that and continued asking other questions. Okay, we've got that she has no alibi. Okay. Because she... now we can contradict her because she's like, oh, I never used that entrance. You know, that exit. And then she's like, oh yeah, I have... Yeah, I don't know why they don't call her Fanny Green instead of Mrs. Green. Okay, we'll talk to her about her no alibi. I'm pretty sure we're getting ready to... She has no alibi. She admits she stepped out from the tin spoon through the night, giving her an opportunity to murder her husband. Asked her again, but night may have stepped out for a bit there, but surely wasn't long. That bit there still could have given her enough time to kill her husband. Okay. Ella just spilled all the fucking tea. Asked her about Ella Smith being Paul's lover, because I'm pretty sure Fanny was Paul's lover. Told Miss Green that I suspect Tiny Paul and Ella of being lovers. Miss Green gave a simple shrug, her face devoid of any emotion. We're asked about the flowers. Okay, of flowers wrapped on the table. Lay on the table, they were vibrant yellow. They remind me of flowers I'd seen earlier, but I couldn't place them at the moment. Had a few sources connecting to you and Tiny Paul, Miss Green. Is he your lover? Your lover? Her face turned crimson. She denied my claims with just about every word in the thesaurus, but that face told me enough. Her and Tiny Paul were having an affair, which could give her a motive to kill her husband. Okay, we've got a motive. I had to prove a motive. Yeah. We have a motive. And we have the, you know, opportunity because she left. Where's Mrs. Green? Yeah, we'll ask her about the affair more. Oh, she's pissed. Admitted to affair with Tiny Paul, it could give her a motivation to kill her husband. Again brought the affair with Tiny Paul. She denied any claims until she's blue, but I didn't believe her an affair could be enough motive for a murder. Okay, we're gonna ask her about the back entrance again. And then contradict her. That should give us the opportunity. Maybe it's not going to let me. Okay. Okay, we didn't get to contradict her. But I asked her about Paul's. Oh, excuse me. About Fanny Green's flowers. Already asked her about it. About Fair Tiny Paul. Okay. Already got this information then. Okay. We're gonna accuse her now. I think we got it. Or ask her about notes. We're gonna ask about the... We'll ask about Tawny Paul. My Paul's got him missing. He says only somebody close to him could grab it. What do you imply, Miss Malone? She questioned. Just about anybody in the billiards room could have taken his gun, and you're close to Tiny Paul, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you'd taken it, I concluded. Okay. Just like anybody in the billiards room could have taken this gun, you're close to Tiny Paul, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you'd taken it, I concluded. She didn't like this inclusion, but we fit access to the murder weapon. Okay, we're going to accuse her now. Thought of accusing Fanny Green of killing her husband. Accusing someone of murder was certainly to agitate them. I knew it was not something I should do lightly. They refused any further casual chats, but if I was confident that she had killed Connor, including knowing the means, motivation, and opportunity to do so, I knew I should accuse her. I'm pretty sure we have everything. We have that she got Paul's gun. She was in love with Paul, and Green was getting ready to skip town, and she snuck out before midnight, and when was he killed? Oh, did I ask anyone about Fred Grants? Well, Grant no became a guy to the billiards room around the time Green had been murdered. Yeah. Okay, I'll ask her about that before I... Where is... I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, Green died at midnight, and no one went through. And she was doing... I consider my any accusations particular moment and said put on the other questions. Yeah, I think I'll ask her about no one. According to the doorman that had told Grant nobody come in or gone out of the billiards room around the time Green had been murdered. Asked her again about the night. I may have stepped out for a bit of air, but I surely wasn't gone long. That bit of air could still have given me enough time to kill her husband. Okay. Yeah, I like how it blinks notes. Accuse Fanny Green. Fanny Green, I stated boldly, you killed your husband. Stillness permeated in the room as I spoke the words. I can prove your means, motivation, opportunity for the murder. Fanny's face contorted like I first seen her in Southern Coffee. She barked at me. What are you saying? I love my husband dearly. How dare you accuse me of murder? She huffed her way out of breath, but gave me a chance to prove it. Prove means. Anyone could have taken Tiny Paul's gun. Where is Tiny Paul? Someone close to him. Tiny Paul claims that his holster is always in his jacket or in his purse. Only a person close to him could have assessed it. Used to prove means. Tiny Paul's gun is missing, and he says only someone close to him could grab it. What do you imply, Miss Malone? She questioned with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, and it's in his apartment hanging up. Empty, the holster is. That you're close to Paul to take the gun. She screamed until she was blue, but didn't believe her denials. An affair could give her enough motivation to kill her husband. Access to Paul's gun would give her the means. I'd shown Mrs. Green that Paul's missing gun could have been the murder weapon. Considering that affair with Tiny Paul, she also would have the perfect motivation to kill her husband. I just needed to prove that Mrs. Green had the opportunity for murder. Yeah, she fucking left. So we already got her own words that she had no alibi. She had no alibi. Message stepped out from the tin spoon throughout the night, giving her the opportunity to murder her husband. You admitted to being gone for parts of the night, I told her. That could have given you the perfect opportunity to murder your husband. She huffed at that for a while, but it stuck. It was clear now. Screenshot this. I put it to her. Miss Green, you're the only one of my suspects with provable motive, means, and opportunity for murder. You know, you had to leave your husband. You loved Paul, and as often happens, you began hating Connor because of it. So you tailed him to see what he was scheming. Maybe you could sink his plan and have the mob do your dirty work. Then you met me. You learned your husband had been receiving death threats, and you knew that was your play. If he died, police could blame it on the underground. So last night after your singing, you called Connor to the Tin Spoon. Stuck with the billiards room the back way, taking Paul's gun with you. That's when you shot him. She looked at me hotly, about to burst, but then she sighed and stared down at her feet. She began to cry. However many opioids were in her running through her blood, they had lost all their effectiveness. I put her arm around her as she wept. Connor had made my life miserable, she said, between sobs. Look around this dump. That's how ruined I am inside. Oh, that manipulative little sneak. You're right, I hated him. That's why I started going with Paul in the first place. She balked at my surprise. Oh no, I never loved Paul. I wanted him to kill Connor. But after learning about Ella, she trailed off. How could I convince Paul if he loved someone else? I had no way of leaving Connor. I slumped back to misery. What about a divorce? I offered. Divorce! She screamed the word back at me. Connor would never give me that. They say we're emancipated. Sure, but we still need our husband's permission to leave his home. It was the only good thing that bum owned, and he would never let go of me. I was the only good thing that bum owned, and he would never let go of me. That's why I was chasing him yesterday, she continued. If I could prove infidelity, I'd demand a split in court. I got all excited when I saw you standing in your doorway. She started breathing more heavily. I had to follow you to make sure, but I was certain I had my out. Only, she sniffed, only it happened you were above board. You're a detective, and I was still trapped. After we met, I came home to find Connor waiting for me. He said we'd be leaving for St. Louis. She took a gasp of air and continued. Leaving everything I'd known for a place I'd never been, with a man I didn't love. I couldn't do it, and I told him so. And then he struck me. She wiped away her tears, and with them came her blush and thick camouflage powder. A liver-colored spot the size of a silver dollar showed on her cheekbone. And then we both reached for the gun. We just marched out the door, she continued, through the waterworks, and I didn't know what to do. And then you thought of Paul's gun, I concluded to her. That's right. Maybe Paul wouldn't kill Connor, but I knew he carried a cannon, and I knew I could get to it. So he took Paul's gun and killed your husband, I said. Yeah, why didn't you just put it back, and then you could, blame it on Paul? No, she said. No, that was my plan, but... She broke off her sentence with a sniff and started. I went to Paul's apartment late in the afternoon and grabbed his pistol. Then I came back here. I sat in this chair, petting the gun in my hand, wondering if I could do it. That's when he came in. Husband, I offered. No, a much kinder man. Oh, he listened so well. I even told him he paused, about my plan. This other man you knew him, I asked. She nodded yes. Said he understood everything. Said he could frame the murder. He said not to worry. So he took the gun. Was it stable? Oh, she cried, but I couldn't let him go through with it. You see, that's why I left with the Tin Spoon last night to stop him. That was when I met Redstone Stable. In response to my raised eyebrow, she explained. I only met him last night. I had no idea that he had anything to do with my husband until this morning. Police told me at the station that Connor had suspected Stable. But I knew instantly that he was a terrible man. A woman's intuition never lies. Stable talks like a snake and has a look to match. So you're both searching for the same person last night, I asked. Yes, but he wasn't around, I think. Sobbed. I'm tired of this, I said. Who is it? It's the owner of that hat, she said, pointing to it. It's Franklin. Oh, shit. Fucking Frankie. Where is Bucko? Yeah. Fucking Franklin. Oh my fuck. And he only found out about this because of me. Because I went there and blabbed to him. Fuck. It's Franklin. Frankie, I asked? She continued slowly. Yes. He took the gun from me yesterday. I was too dazed to argue. Nice story, I said, but you still fit the bill just fine. Phyllis, even if I had the gun, how could I know where the plant is? To plant it. I only met Stable last night, and I knew nothing about him. Franklin had known about the case from you. Isn't that right? You're only telling me this now, I asked? What's the big idea stringing me along? Phyllis, she said softly, Franklin did this for me. He saved me. If that awful man Stable has to take the fall for that, Franklin can stay free. Well, she trailed off. So I just planned to implicate Stable. I figured it was Stable that took the gun and was like, if I'm getting accused for this, I might as well do it. And then I can always prove that that note was fake anyway. Bet we're going to find out that Franklin's been murdered, too. Stable's probably found him by now. Shook my head and looked at her. If she was telling the truth, Stable could confirm it. And if she was lying, I thought, what if I ran? What if she ran? Well, she would get stopped soon enough. Good looks can be a curse, and it would be a cinch to snatch her. Besides, with those opioids in her, she would have difficulty standing, let alone running anywhere. Gazed at her, and she understood what I was thinking. I'll be right here if you come back. I wondered why she would fabricate such a story if she knew she was stuck. Then I thought, what if it was the truth? I had to speak with Frankie. Stood up from the chair, still stunned. I remember grabbing the hat and staring at it. I knew I had to go to Southern Coffee. Can I call the cops ahead of time? No. All my actions from these moments blur together. I only remember thoughts racing through my head. As I hailed a taxicab Southern Coffee, I went over the facts again, trying to deny them, but they all fit too well. Oh, excuse me. What time is it anyway? Oh, it's almost full time. Frankie had been infatuated with Mrs. Green, and he could have gone to visit her. Could have taken the gun. He knew about Stable when I told him of the case, and he could have planned it at his racetrack. Those facts might be explained away innocently, but it was the combination. Frankie was the only person with means, motivation, opportunity to kill Green. And, you know, it's kind of like at the end of Stories from Seoul, where I didn't get to accuse the pirates. I got to accuse... It all fits too much together that they're after Cassie. I stepped out of the cab, hoping Frankie would give me another explanation for all of it. No, I'm betting we're going to run into Stable, and he's going to have murdered Frankie. Walked down the creaking steps, that familiar basement smell added the lump in my throat. I'm going to have a drink first. Must have spent some time looking around the place, inhaling. Even my eyes... Eventually my eyes fell on Frankie. Can't get a drink. Gave me his generous smile that I knew too well. I pulled out my hat and showed it to him. Pulled out his hat and showed it to him. This hat belongs to you, I said in a flat tone. Frankie gaped. If I had any doubts, that look erased them. You killed Connor Green. Fucking hell, Frankie. Frankie's next sentence was short, delivered with a sigh. I've always remembered it. I can't lie to you, he said. My jaw began to quiver, either from sadness or anger. It was hard to be sure. Why get wrapped up in this, I asked. Does this dimpled girl mean so much to you? Frankie shook his head. This will be a long story, started. I let him talk. As heated as I was, I had to know why Frankie would kill my client. It's that sheet. He motioned to the newspaper flopped in the bar. 1887, the St. Louis Browns. My last good season, my career was ruined by Thomas Kinney. Kinney was a mob boss, you see. He ran St. Louis politics, above ground and below. He was cruel to everyone, sure, but he had a special hate for blacks. In 1887, that hate came to baseball. One practice, a local kid came up from the fence and calls Murray, our left fielder, over to him. He tells Murray that every Browns player has to sign onto a letter which says, refuse to play against the Brooklyn Cubans, a colored team. That kid then runs off. We all knew who the orders had really come from. If I refused to ink it, Kenny's gang would run me out of baseball or worse. Some of the best teammates and people I'd known over the years have been black. I was torn up about it. In the end, I guess I was just a kid who wanted to play. I didn't want trouble. I had signed with the others. The worst decision I ever made, Malone. It's haunted me since, and I started on the hooch, and I never played the same again. Kept listening as Frank continued. So I became the booze hound of St. Louis, and the dumps of every bar in town. But this louse had tales about old Thomas Kinney, and a way of telling them that kept the others interested. Made my rumors work. Kenny lost the next election. But a few weeks later, he died of tuberculosis. Kenny's partner, Tom Egan, blamed me for all of it. Oh, fucking tuberculosis. Didn't get to, go to Arizona. That's a Bells of St. Mary reference. I knew I had to blow St. Louis. So I went to Philly, my hometown. I ran to my old pitching partner, Matt Kilroy, who had also opened a bar. He invited me to run it with him, as long as I stopped drinking myself. Under his eye, I made it. Got sober by working in a speakeasy, if you can believe that. I even married Kilroy's sister and became stepfather to her 2 boys. And did Green come and fucking murder him? Why he had to leave Philadelphia. I was engrossed. And continued to listen to Frankie went on. Well then, had renamed the gang, and Egan's rats had spread east. Came for me one night and I barely ducked their spray. Lucky a cop was near his beat, or they would have circled around and finished the job. I had a great life in Philly, but I had to give it up. Couldn't put my new family in the danger. I fled out west, where I knew the rats didn't have a foothold. Philly was the second time those bastards ruined my life. I ended for him. And then you discovered that Green was part of Egan's rats. You wouldn't let him ruin you for a third time. Frankie laughed. No, Malone, I couldn't run easy. Life here ain't much. I have nobody here, really. Yeah, like you're nothing, Malone. Fuck that. Except you. Oh. Oh, fuck. Sure, I could flee somewhere else, but it's you. Egan's rats won't leave and end loose. If Green had reached St. Louis, they'd come back and tied you up. I run from town to town, but I can't make you do that. I was the one who told you to take the case, remember? I had to stop them from hounding you the rest of your life. I was worried that for a moment it was going to be like, you'll find me. But no, he was protecting us. I stared at him without thought or emotion. He said, I did this for you. Poetic Frankie, I countered. But this only proves you had no faith in me. Just like Green, who hired me because he thought I wouldn't see through his scheme. Or his wife, who was hoping I would gum up the works for the police. You thought I couldn't hold my own. Just some flapper playing in a man's world, is that right? Frankie shrugged. I just wanted to protect you. And I'd protect myself, I told him. And without any murders. He sighed. Well, he fucked everything up, bucko. I suppose I wouldn't blame you for taking me in, he said. No, I won't fight if you want to drag me to the hall. But the police will stop looking for a killer. If you let me, I'd keep running. It's up to you. Okay. I'm gonna do. I probably wish I wish I could save for this, but I'm gonna not arrest him because I'm like, he's done me a solid. The gang's cleared up. You know, what's he gonna do? Get in jail? He's gonna get like the death sentence because it's the 20s. You know. So I'm gonna not arrest him. Like, pretty much like between him and your uncle, you know, he's all we got. Oh man. Trying to see if there's any like guns. Yeah, we're gonna not arrest him. We got this, you know, this decision. Oh, he just blinked at me. We're gonna, it's up to you. Don't. Case of Distrust. Oh. Well. Well, that seems really, you know, I think it's on Switch too. Thank you for playing. It seems really inconclusive. I think, like, I picked the wrong choice. It was a few mornings later that I received a knock on the door. A small man in a tight blue uniform asked me to sign for a package and handed me an envelope and a brown box. I opened the envelope. Inside was Frankie's scribbles, only slightly more legible than hieroglyphics. The writing was curt. Low in the berg, it stated. Too much baggage around to keep this act going. Went back to the missus for my hat. Spotted this. She agreed you should have it. Hope it serves you well. You've become one hell of a detective. Good knowing you. The final two letters were obscured with small wet blotch on the page. Thanks for everything, Frankie. Put the note away, but not before a drop fell on the name Frankie, creating my own small wet blotch. Turned the box and removed the side of the tape from the cardboard. That snapped the flaps open with a couple loud pops. Rolled a loose ball inside the box was Louis. Rolled another loose ball inside the box was Louis's gray coat. Yeah. That explains where she got the coat too. Yeah. I looked up, and it's like people are like complaining about the ending, but it's like they never said if there was like a difference in either way. But to me, it makes sense because he's like her mentor. Like, he's her, the only person she's had besides her uncle, Louis. Put it on and looked at myself in the mirror. Grabbed the lapels and pulled them tight. The trench coat suited me. And I wonder how Green had first gotten hold of it. Oh, we get to pick. We get to pick. Innocent question was about to lead to a lot of trouble. Did it freeze? Got an achievement. Master Sleuth got a new look. But yeah, like, it didn't say anything about the different endings if you arrest him or not. But to me, it makes sense for him to get away. One, he's already done it before. Got a family somewhere. He's, he murdered someone, but someone was, he would have ended up dead anyway, pretty much. And, hopefully Mrs. Green, or Fanny, uses those tickets that her husband had bought to blow town. Because, maybe he went with her. I don't think so. I don't think he actually, like, was in love with her or anything, like Frankie was in love with Mrs. Green. Because that's like, I really do believe he did it for, saw how much we were struggling, didn't want us to get caught up like his family got caught up before with the mob. Anyway, where does this continue from? If I load up. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, you can pick different ones. Step to the cab and hope Frank could get me an explanation for all of it. I don't really want to see the other ending. I'll look online. But yeah, we'll save and exit.